Hey guys, my name is Shai, and I would just like to do a kind of Starseed check-in just to see. I don't even know. Sometimes, I sit down and I sit down because I already have a message to put out there. Today, I just want to check in and see what's up. And, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably be saying it again a few more times before this particular energy changes. It's just that, especially for those of you watching this when I post it, like around when I post it, the starseed energy has been pretty low key for several months at this point. And it's probably going to remain low key for several more months. That's pretty apparent even right now. I happen to be recording this during Scorpio season. This is absolutely a timeless message, but I am recording it actually on Halloween day. The sun hasn't set yet, so the vibe isn't fully here yet. But even though it's Scorpio season and it's like, spooky season, it's Halloweeny and all of that, the starseed energy is still kind of slumbering. It's still slumbering. And it's not that it's gone. It's not that there's anything wrong. It's not that we're blocked or anything like that. It's just this has been a time to focus on other things. And it's going to be a bit, I think it's still going to be a little bit before the starseed energy really starts kicking off again. So that's kind of why I just want to like do a check-in here. A check-in just to see what is up. I'm actually having pretty significant ascension symptoms right now. My nose is kind of stuffy. I don't know if I sound funny. My nose is stuffy. I feel really cold, like cold down to my bones, like I can't heat up, but I'm also kind of like hot flashing. Really, really tired, really thirsty, really like hungry, but I don't really have an appetite, and just kind of nauseous. And there's nothing like I'm very, I know this is ascension symptoms. I'm feeling very physically healthy. I just feel off, right, from the energy. So but the energy is hidden, right? This energy is hidden. It's that scorpionic hiding thing going on. I'm also picking up like Virgo energy. I don't know where that's coming from or why. Maybe that's relevant to someone. I don't know. Let's get some cards on the table and see what is up. A Five of Pentacles. Seven of Swords. Okay, so a lot of us are still integrating the full moon eclipse in Taurus that we just had. And I know a lot of you are watching this like at some random future time, and you might not remember the full moon eclipse in Taurus of 2023. But I just wanted to throw that out there for those of you who are seeing it now. But suffice to say that there has been a material shift, and Three of Swords. Damn, guys. So there's been like different types of shifts in your physical reality that is requiring processing, and not loving it. That Five of Pentacles is that feeling of some kind of loss. For me, example, I can point to you to tell you exactly what this is that I suddenly, I'm not laid off of my job. I still have a job technically, but the company I work for lost a lot of business, and that means that I have almost no shifts for the foreseeable future. So it's that type of thing going on, right? And for some of you, it could be little things like that, where maybe you broke your favorite coffee mug. Some of you, it could be way more serious, right? Luckily for me, missing out on a couple months of work it is serious, but I have my business and I have my husband's income, so I'm not in a total crisis here. It's just a challenge, right? So varying degrees on how this is hitting you, but we do have the Three of Swords coming up here. So I know that for some people there has been, whatever the loss is, it is hitting quite hard, and there can be a grief process going on here. But with the Seven of Swords, for a few of you, there could have been some kind of deception going on. But sometimes I wonder why. Okay, so Seven of Swords, right? The Seven of Swords, it is always seen and like traditionally talked about as this, somebody was deceiving you. There was this like bad guy and they like stole stuff from you and they were deceiving you. And I feel like I always have to mention that, and maybe I should stop because honestly, I don't really ever really see that card playing out like that. So, I mean, take it or leave it. See, you'll know what's relevant for you, right? But I'm always led to see the Seven of Swords as like some kind of challenge that is causing you to learn to assert yourself. Okay. And I mean, maybe it's just because I focus so much on like the outcome of it, like the beneficial part of this. It's like if you have some kind of challenge, then that is when you have to assert yourself. That's what I focus on, right? And it is possible that, maybe if someone has been deceiving you or thieving from you, that is what causes you to learn to assert yourself. But really, I feel like the only part of the energy that is really worth focusing on, that is really worth us putting all of our energy into, is the fact that, okay, this is when you assert yourself. This is when something comes out from deep inside of you, right? And maybe it took some kind of hardship, some kind of loss, some kind of challenge to push that out of you, but here it is, it's coming out, right? It's coming out, and that is really on point for the Scorpio energy that we've got going, because it is all about, just think of Scorpio season, right? This is the time of year when, the veil is the thinnest, right? And everything that is normally unseen is becoming more visible. Just, you guys know, right? You guys know. So this also includes things about yourself. And the phrase I'm actually hearing is mechanisms of self, which is a strange phrase. That's interesting to think into. Mechanisms of self. So something about yourself really needing to come forward, really wanting to come out. Maybe this is something you are creating. Maybe this is something you want to share with someone, something you've been keeping to yourself, and it is time to let it out. I'm just feeling, there's the feeling here of something really exhausted. The feeling of something you used to dream of, some kind of hope and dream you used to have that was so disappointingly crushed that you swung the pendulum to the other side and ended up entirely rejecting that hope and that dream. Or just going, you used to have all these hopes and dreams, and now you hope for nothing because the disappointment and the frustration was so bitter and so hard to digest that you saw no other way forward than as just to reject it entirely or forget about it entirely, or you thought that it was taken away from you entirely. Well, this is the time when that returns. King of Swords, guys. This is all of that energy completely turning around. So the question here is, can you dare to believe once again? Can you dare to hope? Do you have the courage to hope once again? Do you have the courage to believe in yourself once again? Can you even allow yourself to dream of this possibility? So many different things. For some of you, it could be, you've been disappointed in romance. Can you keep your heart open to allow the relationship of your dreams to manifest, right? For some of you, it's a career goal, a financial goal, a travel goal, a goal of like a dream of self-expansion, becoming that person you wanted to be, right? Have you ever felt like life has just ground you down, right? And taken so much from you. And you feel like you had to give up on the person, you had to give up on your dream of becoming the person you wanted to be. Do you have the courage to dare to dream for that once again, right? You have to allow yourself to open back up to it. And this, honestly, that in and of itself, that could be the Three of Swords, right? When you're feeling into it and going, can I even allow myself to hope? Can I even allow myself to dream of that? Can I entertain this desire once again? That can hurt, right? That can hurt more than staying in the that can hurt more than staying in the Five of Pentacles, right? Sometimes we protect ourselves by being pessimistic. We protect ourselves by wanting nothing. We go, okay, life has ground me down, therefore I'm just going to get used to accepting less. And that's the thing, right? This is so I feel like the key to all of this is acknowledging that everything is a cycle. That is what we need to understand here. That is the key. Every single thing we go through is a cycle. We got Archangel Uriel with the crown chakra coming through here. So every single thing we experience is a cycle, and that is the key to getting back your hope, getting back your dream, getting back your faith. However this hits for you, right? Because it's almost like having to unlearn lessons you learned previously. Because at some point in life, you had all these big hopes and these big dreams. It's like, you know, that feeling when you're 18 and you go off into the world and you feel invincible, like 18, 19. Maybe some of you watching are 18 or 19, but I know that most of my, at least most of the people who get private readings from me anyway, are older than 18 or 19, right? But I know there's at least some of you watching this are probably going to be teenagers. So if you guys still have this feeling, like hang on to this feeling when you're 18 or 19, you feel like you can just conquer the world, right? At least I did. And I know a lot of people, talk about that when looking back to that age, right? We felt like we could just conquer the world and nothing could stop us. And then after that, nothing works out the way we hope. Like we face bitter disappointments, we lose things. It feels like things are taken away from us. And we also, there's this maturation process that goes along with it. And it's not just all about, I felt like so victimized by the world, although there's some of that. It's also that we had to learn that in order to grow up, in order to mature, in order to make our way in the world, we had to make sacrifices. We had to give things up. And I know, a lot of us at some point along the way, we did that, going, okay, like I got to get realistic, right? Or, okay, I want this thing, therefore I have to give up that thing. Some of us gave up our career for our family. Some of us gave up our family for our career. Some of us gave up travel dreams for stability. Some of us gave up stability in order to be able to travel, right? We all deliberately, consciously gave up something, and that was part of a lesson we had to learn, right? And at some point, we all had to learn to be okay with less and to understand that was even like a good thing, that was part of the cycle, right? And we go, okay, we're dialing down our expectations, right? Adjusting our expectations, because at some point along the way, I think we did learn that, there was a mismatch between expectation and reality, right? The mismatch between expectation and reality. So we dialed it down, and that wasn't even necessarily a bad thing, and it wasn't a mistake. That was part of the cycle, right? That was part of the cycle. It was like the waning part of the cycle. So think of the cycle of the moon here, right? The waning part of the cycle. So when you're at the very bottom of the cycle, like the new moon part of the cycle, and it can feel like this is all that there is, right? This is all that there is. This is all there ever will be. I don't even, there can be that feeling of, I don't even remember what my dreams used to be, right? Oh yeah, I used to dream of this thing. I used to have all of these hopes and desires and plans and goals, but I left those behind and they're gone forever now, right? And it can feel like where you're at is forever, right? Especially, I mean, because you're all on a spectrum here, right? So for some of you, you know, you're maybe in a pretty decent place, right? Maybe even in a really good place for a few of you, right? And it's more of like reclaiming this desire to like go big. It's like, yeah, everything's pretty good, right? But like I had given up on this big dream, and it's like, get that big dream back, right? For some of you, you could be in a very, very low place, right? Like feeling like you're at the very bottom of the barrel, just, completely depleted, and that feeling of having lost everything and having everything had been taken away from you. And it can feel like, does life ever get better? Like, is there any way out of this, right? Is there any way out of this hole? You can feel that way, right? And especially for those of you who feel like you're in the hole, what I used to always call the black pit of despair. When you're in the black pit of despair, there can feel like there's like, I mean, it's honestly like really, it's a like neurological thing that happens in your physical brain where you become incapable, like physiologically, like your actual physical brain is incapable of thinking and imagining and believing that it gets better and that it changes, right? So that's why I'm coming back to this whole thing. It's if we can just remember that everything is part of a cycle, every single thing, everything is part of the cycle. Nothing lasts forever. And that's, that might sound bad, nothing lasts forever, but it's also really good, right? It is this and that is, it is beautiful and sorrowful, right? But here I think the idea that nothing lasts forever, it is a really good thing because, no matter where you're at, there's this feeling here of, we're trying to get something back that we lost. It's like getting back a piece of ourselves. And for a lot of us, it's getting back this dream or this goal or this desire, right? Daring to dream once again. Of course, that comes back around because everything comes back around. Everything is just part of a cycle. So, and I think understanding that, because I think that's a lot easier to get on board with, right? It can be hard to, if you've been disappointed so many times that you've given up on something, right? Maybe you've even just given up on yourself or given up on life, or maybe it's just a dream you gave up on, a goal you gave up on. If you've faced failure, disappointment, and frustration so many times, it can be impossible, right, to get your human mind to believe in the thing once again. So don't even worry about that for a second. Just think about the macro picture here. What you can believe is that everything is part of a cycle. You know this because you're a spiritual being and you're into this kind of stuff because you're watching this video, right? So you already know, and this is something that is easy for you to tune into. You know that everything is part of a cycle. And if you need a reminder, just look up at the moon, right? Just look up at the moon, or if you live on the coast, go to the beach, right? And just feel the tides. Sit on the beach for a whole day and watch the tides go in and come out, right? Come in and go out. I said that weird and it was bothering me. But either way, right? Find something that is cyclical, right? Tune into the cycles and remember that every single thing is a cycle. And so just tune into that. Just tune into the cyclical nature of life. And that is how you can start to feel and believe that anything that you want to get back, any feeling that you want to reclaim, of course it comes back to you because everything is cyclical. We got Aquarius energy coming through. Show the world the real you. This comes back to the Seven of Swords. And I think really the Seven of Swords, because besides the fact that this is all air energy, right? To me, the Seven of Swords is the asserting yourself, and it's this feeling of something inside of you, really some kind of aspect of yourself that wants to come forward. And that is really confirmed with the show the world the real you, right? And that's what turns you into the King of Swords. That's what helps you grow you into the King of Swords. Something here to articulate. How on earth will I say it? I don't know. This is like Merlin and King Arthur energy. I don't I don't know how else to say it. I don't know if any of you have seen the 1981 Excalibur movie. Okay. Okay, it's really cheesy, really campy, and it is hands down my favorite movie of all time, okay? And it's, I was saying like Virgo energy because like Virgo, Merlin, and I always watch Excalibur during Virgo season and during the Virgo full moon in Pisces season, right? It's just, so there's like an energy here with that I literally cannot explain, or rather it would take me, I would have to make like a 2 hour long like review of that movie in order to describe this energy. So I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna say, if you guys want to see a crazy like metal skull cap wearing Merlin, okay, go watch Excalibur in the 1981 movie. There's something in that movie for somebody, okay? Yeah, literally my favorite movie of all time. It has been my favorite movie since I was a little girl, okay? I used to watch that movie and I would look at Merlin. In that movie, it's hilarious. And I wanted to be Merlin. That was my greatest role model when I was a kid. So I know I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Maybe somebody will watch it, or maybe somebody's seen it and knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, so the King of Swords, that's why I'm talking about this. The King of Swords is King Arthur, right? King Arthur. And King Arthur goes on a journey in that movie of, that's why this is relevant. That's why I'm talking about this. In that movie, King Arthur and goes on this whole journey of being young and vibrant, right? And then he goes through his own dark night of the soul, his own, dip where he loses everything, and then ultimately coming out of it. And I'm not spoiling the movie because it's Arthurian legends, right? That's how the Arthurian legends always go in every telling of it. So just watch the movie if you want to see how to become the King of Swords, okay? To the Sea in reverse. So this deck always has really interesting messages for the reversals. It's number 7. Let me read this. When external conditions appear to block every attempt to move forward, there is no hidden message for you to decipher. Like the ocean, the tides of experience ebb and flow. You are in a natural cycle, so know that things will flow again in due course. There is no cause for alarm. Stop resisting and fighting against the situation and learn to flow, even when the tide is going out. Relax and trust in the abundance that will soon be within your reach. An ancient mariner's saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. Wow. Yeah, exactly that, right? It's even got the ocean imagery, talking about the ebb and flow of the tide, and talking about surrendering to the cycle of this all. And there's something here. I think there's like a meta message here that we all are kind of grappling with a little bit. How to articulate. It's something about how we think about manifestation, right? And how we think about how our reality, our external reality, is a reflection of our internal reality. And I think we all do this, right? We see reflections in our external reality and we go, how did I create that reflection? Right? What is that saying about inside of me? How did I create this reflection? How did I manifest this? And we can get, because that is an important understanding for us to go into. Oh, so you know what I said? I was like, it's almost like we're having to unlearn lessons that we learned previously. And it's not that the lessons we learned previously were wrong. It's that they were part of the cycle. And now we're in a different part of the cycle, right? So we went through this phase of learning, wow, I influence my own reality. My external reality is a reflection of my internal reality, right? What I see outside of me, I created, right, from my own vibration. And then we get all into, manifestation. And, maybe at some point we were into the law of attraction and all of that kind of stuff, right? I think that there is a shadow side to that because, of course, everything has a shadow, right? So the shadow side to that is when we start getting really down on ourselves or frustrated with ourselves or overly critical about, like, oh my God, these bad things are happening, or these things that I didn't want to happen are happening. Did I create this? Why isn't my life better? Why can't I manipulate reality into making my life better? Why can't I manifest this? I've been calling in this energy and I've been manifesting and manifesting and manifesting and it does not manifesting. Why isn't it manifesting? Why am I seeing all these reflections I don't want to see, right? Is something wrong with my energy? Do I need to heal more? Do I need to do more shadow work? Blah, 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 blah. We can go totally nuts on that, right? And I think you guys know what I mean about how we can take all of that. It can what begins as a really enriching and wisdom cultivating kind of spiritual understanding, it can become this manipulative distortion and we can just become, and more to the point is that it can become unhealthy because we just can end up being frustrated and we think we're doing something wrong and we think that we should somehow be better so that our reality will be better. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. I think we've all been there. So there's the meta message here is to actually kind of knock that off. I think we all need to knock that off. And so sometimes just understand, what did it say in the book? It was there is no hidden meaning to decipher here. There is no hidden meaning. Sometimes it's just the cycle, right? Sometimes it is just the cycle of your life. And here's the thing, it can still be both. You don't need to decide oh my God, do I need to throw at everything I know about manifestation? Is it not true that my external reality is a reflection of my internal reality? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not I'm not saying throw all that out. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's untrue. It's just, what if there's more to it? What if it's both? What if it's this and that, right? So what if there was a cycle, a phase of the cycle where it was important for you to practice manifesting and to practice creating a better reality for yourself by doing your inner work and creating better reflections, right? Maybe that was an important part of the cycle. And then what if that is all good and true? And what if there is also a greater cycle going on where there are some things that are happening outside of your control? And here's the thing, these ideas don't even need to contradict each other, because maybe everything you are creating is of your own creation, and maybe sometimes it seems like you created a bunch of things you didn't want to see. But maybe that's perfect. Maybe that is happening on a larger sphere, right? Maybe there's a larger cycle here. Maybe it's a reflection coming from your larger self, your greater self, your higher self. And maybe any mistakes you think you've made, maybe those are exactly all on point, right? Just, you got to look at this from a bigger perspective, from this bigger, more holistic, more cyclical perspective, and understanding that there are cycles to literally every single thing. So whatever kind of cycle you were in, now you're in a different part of the cycle, and then there's going to be other parts of the cycle, right? And it's not even just a circle, it's spirals and spirals and spirals and spirals and spirals and all over the place, right? Just think of how crazy you could get think of how convoluted to the human mind these cycles of creation must be out there in the cosmos, right? That cannot really be perceived by your human mind, but you can always feel what point of the cycle you are at, and that is really all you need to worry about, right? What point of the cycle are you in right now? Just feel for the ebb and the flow. Sometimes you're in the flow, sometimes you're in the ebb, but no matter which one you're in, you always know that the other one is coming, right? Because it is cycles upon cycles upon cycles upon cycles. So I'm going to leave you guys there, sending you so much love and light, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.